think we can become global citizens and all do our part to create a sustainable future for all.
So wasn't that an amazing documentary just now that we just watched? That was great. I have this poster in my room from National Wildlife Week back in 2005, and it says on the top, explore and embrace a special wild place. Today, I'd like to tell you about my special wild place. It's a special wild place that I got to explore and embrace. My special wild place is the Arctic. I had the privilege of going to the Canadian Arctic back in 2010 with an organization called Students on Ice. Since I was a little child, I've always had a love for nature and a connection with nature, and the chance to go to the Arctic was just a dream for me. In my time there, I saw so much and I learned so much about the land, the wildlife, and the people that live there. And I've realized why it's so important for us to protect the polar regions and to protect this planet. In the short time I have here with you today, I would like to share my message with you about why it's so important to protect these polar regions and what each and every one of us can do to help. So let me bring you on my journey to the Arctic, and let's explore it together. What made it so special for me? Was it this midnight sunset on the Hudson Strait with the cold blue, dark blue waters of the Arctic Ocean? Or was it this early morning fog that rolled onto Digges Island? Or was it this majestic iceberg, almost seemingly asleep in the bay at Keckerton Island? Let's explore the land now. Here's the great Ivytek National Park. It's a place where our team went on an all-day hike to the Arctic Circle. Ivytek is an Inuktitut word which means the place that never melts. Ivytek is a place so large, so magnificent, you feel so small when you're hiking through there. And you can hardly believe that you're in Canada. We passed by this massive glacier. It's part of the Penny Ice Cap. The Penny Ice Cap is 5,000 square kilometers in area, stretching over top of that mountain. And glaciers are so important as climate regulators for this planet. And without glaciers, it would be very difficult for us to live on this planet. Now, let's explore the wildlife that we saw. There's so much wildlife in the Arctic. Here's a photo of a mother and her two cubs, 2 years old. I got the chance to see them eye to eye, and it was just an amazing, experience that you can't really explain. Just to look right into their eyes and they look back at you. But it's not just the large polar bears that are part of the Arctic wildlife. There's so much biodiversity everywhere you look. If you just look down at the ground in front of you, like I did here, I saw these little surprises, these little Arctic treasures, little mosses and mushrooms. When we got to meet the indigenous people, we visited an Inuit community called Cape Dorset, and I got to meet and speak with Inuit elders. Inuit elders carry with them cultures, traditions, ways of living in the Arctic. These traditions have lasted for thousands of years. and they're going to be passed on to the next generation of Inuit youth who will live on this land. But there are challenges facing the Arctic. Remember this glacier that I showed you earlier? This glacier, remember, was in Ivytek National Park. And remember, Ivytek means the place that never melts. However, the unfortunate reality is that this place is melting, and it's melting more rapidly than ever before. The melting is going to continue, and it's going to be permanent. The glaciers are going to disappear. It's due to climate change. The polar regions are among the first places to experience climate change, and the temperatures there are rising 3 times more than the rest of the world. It's causing the melting of glaciers, and we're losing this huge, important, significant refrigerator for the planet. We're losing a significant carbon sink, and we're losing all the reflectivity that comes from glaciers keeping this planet cool. It's also causing erosion, flash flooding, all of which are very dangerous. You'll see in the foreground here, glacial meltwater. This is a flash flood, and we were hiking past this. It's very dangerous, and we had to be very careful along the trails. One false step, and it could be really, really not good. This image depicts just the sheer amount of water that's flowing by every minute. We had to cross these little streams, and it's all glacial meltwater, which is in fact fresh water. We know fresh water is such a precious resource, and it's all flowing away, and we're losing it. This picture of the midnight sunset, it's not going to be there forever. It's also going to change. We're going to see a different image. Countries and companies are starting to move up to the north to exploit the oil resources, the vast oil resources that are found in the ocean. The Arctic is one of the last untouched places on this planet, and it's a chance for us to do things properly, starting from the beginning. And I think we can do better than this. Imagine if there was an oil spill in the Arctic. Imagine how devastating that would be on the wildlife and the ecosystems, and how difficult it would be to clean that up. But we can all do our part, and I'm embracing my special wild place, the Arctic, by taking action. My action is this: the Students on Ice alumni delegation. So I'll be leading a youth delegation this June to Rio de Janeiro for the United Nations Earth Summit. And this is going to be the largest environmental conference that happens it only happens once every decade. And that just shows how significant this conference is, discussing all issues regarding the environment. And there are going to be presidents and prime ministers present. There are going to be decisions made. And it's a pivotal time for us to move forward and do things properly. We're going to go there to speak up about the polar regions and the importance of sustainability for the future of the polar regions. And we're going there to keep our presidents and prime ministers accountable to the future generations. I'm part of this future generation that's going to have to live with the consequences, good or bad, of their decisions. But you don't have to lead a youth delegation like I am, but you can take action. You can take action in your day-to-day lives. It's as simple as turning off a light or walking or biking instead of driving. Your daily actions are connected to the well-being of this planet. And the positive changes that you make will make a difference in reducing climate change. They will. If we all do it together, we'll be able to we will make a big difference. So let us join together and protect the polar regions and protect our one and only planet. Now it's your turn to embrace your special wild place and take action with all your spirit and personal energy, just like these beautiful northern lights you see here dancing across the cold Arctic night sky. Thank you.